Do you or do you not feel bonita?
I feel bonita.
Scream 6 is a pretty dumb movie, but it's still kind of fun. I know this is probably the worst place in the franchise to start off, as this is clearly an homage to the legacy of the film franchise, but this is my first Scream movie, unless you count Scary Movie 1. The big selling point of this film is the setting, as it takes place in New York City, and it's actually able to use that setting pretty well to create an uncomfortable dynamic between public places that should feel safe and the cramped New York apartments and alleyways that leave the audience with some kind of sense of dread. The movie is really campy, and you have to have this huge suspension of disbelief as 5'1" Jenna Ortega is able to tank like enough hits and lose enough blood that would make like a shonen protagonist like wince. The kills in this movie are fairly satisfying, but they're ultimately not that creative. But the pretty likable, memeable, Zoomer cast helps elevate the material as they all have like their own kind of distinct caricature personalities. The dialogue is cringy, but it works with kind of like the very, very meta atmosphere of it all, as a lot of the jokes and a lot of what they're talking about is just a reference to the franchise as a whole within the context of the movie franchise within this universe. And the ultimate twist reveal at the end is honestly fairly satisfying enough, as the movie keeps you guessing for pretty much its entire runtime, and by the time you get to the final battle, they set it up in a really cool setting, and it's pretty satisfying to see the whole thing come together. There's like a thin theme of like legacy or something in this movie as you see characters from the different Scream movies, but it serves a little more than to kind of give some glimpse of a message in just like goofy horror film. The movie isn't scary at all, which honestly isn't that disappointing because it still serves as a pretty fun time at the movies with friends. It's just like a pretty light watch, isn't the deepest movie, and honestly, despite a kind of longer 2-hour runtime for a horror movie, you never really feel it drag, and the pacing is honestly pretty solid. But overall, I think the movie's like in the 5-ish range, maybe a little bit higher if you're a big fan of the Scream franchise and you got all the little references and Easter eggs that they add, and probably a bit lower if you're going into this hoping for like a really, hardcore, scary horror film, classic Kino film. But thanks for hanging on to the end or skipping there or whatever. It means the world. Thank you so much. And stay tuned for more movie reviews at 5 a.m. as I record these with the soundest of mind. Thanks, guys. Later.